The chime of a text message shattered the illusion of our perfect family portrait. I glanced at Peter, his face illuminated by the glow of his phone screen, a fleeting smile playing on his lips. My husband of 15 years, the father of our son, and the man I thought I knew better than anyone else in the world. "Everything okay, honey?" I asked, trying to keep my voice light. Peter's head snapped up, his eyes meeting mine for a brief second, before darting away. "Just work stuff, Lily. Nothing to worry about," I nodded, turning my attention back to our son, Jack, who was busy regaling his cousins with tales of his latest soccer triumph. The annual family gathering buzzed around us, a cacophony of laughter and chatter that usually filled me with warmth. But now, an icy tendril of doubt had wormed its way into my heart. "Mom, did you see that goal I scored?" Jack's excited voice cut through my thoughts. I plastered on a smile. "Of course, sweetie. You were amazing out there." As Jack launched into another animated description, I couldn't help but steal glances at Peter. He was engrossed in his phone again, thumbs flying across the screen. Who was he texting with such urgency at a family event? "Earth to Lily." My sister Sarah's voice startled me. "You okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." I forced a laugh. "Just tired, I guess. It's been a long week." Sarah raised an eyebrow. "Uh-huh. And I'm the Queen of England. Spill it, sis." Before I could respond, Peter stood up abruptly. "I need to make a quick call. Work emergency." As he walked away, his phone slipped from his pocket, landing face up on the grass. The screen lit up with a new message, and my heart stopped. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow, handsome. Missing you already. Gina." I snatched up the phone, my hands trembling. Who the hell was Gina? Lily? Sarah's concerned voice seemed to come from far away. "What's wrong?" I shook my head, unable to form words. The perfect picture of our life together was crumbling before my eyes, and I didn't know how to stop it. Peter returned, his brow furrowing when he saw his phone in my hand. "Everything okay, hon?" I met his gaze, searching for any sign of guilt or remorse, but all I saw was confusion and a hint of annoyance. "Who's Gina?" The words tumbled out before I could stop them. Peter's face paled for a split second before he recovered. "Oh, she's a new client at work. We have a big presentation tomorrow." "Really?" I held up the phone, my voice trembling. "Because this message doesn't sound very professional to me." The air around us seemed to freeze. I was vaguely aware of Sarah ushering Jack and the other kids away, giving us some privacy. Peter's jaw clenched. "Lily, can we not do this here? Let's talk about this at home." I laughed bitterly. "Talk about what, Peter? How you're cheating on me? How our entire marriage is a lie?" "Keep your voice down," he hissed, glancing around nervously. "You're making a scene." "I'm making a scene?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "You're the one who's been sneaking around behind my back." Peter grabbed my arm, pulling me away from the curious glances of our family members. "Lily, please. I can explain everything. Just not here. Not now." I yanked my arm free, tears stinging my eyes. "Fine, but don't think for a second that this conversation is over." As I walked away, my mind reeling from the shock of discovery, I caught sight of Jack watching us with wide, worried eyes. In that moment, I knew that whatever happened next, I had to be strong. For him, for myself, and for the life I thought we had. The perfect picture was shattered, but I was determined to pick up the pieces and create something new, with or without Peter. The days following the family gathering blurred together in a haze of suspicion and doubt. I found myself scrutinizing Peter's every move, searching for clues I might have missed before. But he carried on as if nothing had changed, his easy smile and casual affection a stark contrast to the turmoil churning inside me. One morning, as I packed Jack's lunch for school, Peter breezed into the kitchen, adjusting his tie. "I might be late tonight," he said, grabbing a piece of toast. "Big presentation with a new client." I froze, the peanut butter knife hovering over the bread. "Is it Gina?" The name felt like poison on my tongue. Peter's eyes flickered with something, guilt, annoyance, before he laughed it off. "No, not Gina. Different client. Why do you ask?" I shrugged, trying to keep my voice steady. "Just curious." He kissed my cheek, the familiar scent of his cologne now tinged with deceit. "Don't wait up, okay?" As soon as the front door closed behind him, I slumped against the counter, fighting back tears. How had we come to this? When had the man I loved become a stranger? "Mom?" Jack's voice startled me. "Are you okay?" I plastered on a smile, determined not to let my son see my pain. "Of course, sweetie. Just tired. Ready for school?" As we drove to Jack's school, I tried to focus on his chatter about his upcoming science project, but my mind kept drifting back to Peter and his secrets. "Oh, Mom!" Jack exclaimed suddenly. "I forgot to tell you. Dad's work partner came over yesterday when you were at the grocery store." My hands tightened on the steering wheel. "Work partner?" Jack nodded enthusiastically. "Yeah, her name's Gina. She's really nice. She helped me with my math homework." The world tilted on its axis. Gina had been in our house? With my son? The betrayal cut deeper than I could have imagined. That's great, honey." I managed to choke out as we pulled up to the school. "Have a good day, okay?" As soon as Jack was out of sight, I let the tears fall. How dare Peter bring that woman into our home? How dare he involve our son in his deception? I spent the day in a fog, mechanically going through the motions of housework while my mind raced. By the time I heard Peter's key in the lock that night, I was seething with a mix of anger and hurt. "Hey, beautiful," he called out, his voice light and carefree. "Sorry I'm late. The presentation went great." I met him in the hallway, arms crossed. "I'm sure it did. Was Gina there?" Peter's smile faltered. "Lily, not this again. I told you she's just a colleague. A colleague who comes to our house when I'm not here," I shot back. "Who helps our son with his homework?" The color drained from Peter's face. "Jack told you about that?" "He did. What I want to know is why you didn't." Peter ran a hand through his hair, sighing heavily. "I didn't think it was a big deal. She was in the neighborhood, stopped by to drop off some files." "Stop lying to me," I exploded, years of trust crumbling in an instant. "I saw the message, Peter. I know there's something going on between you two." For a moment, silence hung heavy between us. Then Peter's shoulders sagged, defeat written across his features. "Lily, I don't know what to say. It's not what you think, but..." "But what?" I pressed, my heart pounding. "Tell me the truth, Peter. For once in your life, just be honest with me." He met my gaze, and in that moment, I saw a flicker of the man I'd fallen in love with all those years ago. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I never meant for any of this to happen." As the weight of his unspoken confession settled over us, I realized that our perfect life had been built on a foundation of sand. And now, as the tide of truth rushed in, everything we'd known was about to be washed away. The clock on the nightstand glowed an accusatory 2:37 a.m. as I lay wide awake, Peter's soft snores a mocking reminder of his apparent peace of mind. I couldn't take it anymore. I sat up abruptly, flicking on the bedside lamp. "Peter, wake up, we need to talk." He stirred, blinking in confusion. "Lily, what's wrong?" "What's wrong?" I laughed bitterly. "Everything's wrong, Peter, and we're going to hash this out right now." Fully awake now, Peter propped himself up against the headboard. "Okay, let's talk." I took a deep breath, steeling myself. "Are you having an affair with Gina?" "No." The denial came quickly, almost rehearsed. "I told you, she's just a colleague." "A colleague who sends you flirty messages? Who comes to our house when I'm not here?" Peter ran a hand through his hair, sighing heavily. "It's complicated." "Then uncomplicate it for me," I snapped. He was quiet for a long moment, and when he spoke, his voice was low. "I'm not having an affair, Lily. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't attracted to Gina." The admission hit me like a physical blow. "And does she feel the same way?" Peter nodded slowly. "We've talked about it, but nothing's happened, I swear." "Nothing's happened?" I echoed incredulously. "You've been lying to me, sneaking around, bringing her into our home. How is that nothing?" "I know it looks bad," Peter pleaded, "but I never meant for any of this to happen. Gina and I, we just connected. In a way I haven't felt in a long time." His words cut deep, each one a knife to my heart. "And what about our connection, Peter? What about our marriage, our family?" "I love you, Lily. I love our life together, but lately it's felt, I don't know, stagnant." I recoiled as if he'd slapped me. "Stagnant? Is that how you see our life, our love?" Peter reached for my hand, but I pulled away. "That's not what I meant. It's just, Gina makes me feel alive again, excited about life, about work. And I don't?" My voice cracked. "Am I just the boring housewife now?" "No. Of course not," Peter insisted. "You're an amazing mother, a wonderful wife. It's not about you, it's..." "Don't you dare say it's not about me," I interrupted, fury rising. "This affects me. It affects Jack. Your choices impact all of us." Peter fell silent, his face a mask of guilt and confusion. "So what now?" I asked, my anger giving way to exhaustion. "Where do we go from here?" He shrugged helplessly. "I don't know. I love you, Lily. I don't want to lose our family, but I can't deny my feelings for Gina either." In that moment, something inside me snapped. The last thread of hope I'd been clinging to disintegrated. "Well, you can't have both," I said, my voice eerily calm. "You need to make a choice, Peter, right now." He stared at me, panic flickering in his eyes. "Lily, please. Can't we talk about this more?" Maybe see a counselor? I shook my head, a strange sense of clarity washing over me. No, Peter, I'm done talking. I'm done being your second choice, your safe option. I deserve better than that. Jack deserves better than that. What are you saying? Peter's voice was barely a whisper. I'm saying that if you can't commit to our marriage, to our family 100%, then I'm out. No more lies, no more Gina, no more excuses. The silence that followed was deafening. I watched Peter's face, searching for any sign of the man I'd fallen in love with, the father of my child, but all I saw was a stranger, torn between his comfortable life and his exciting new prospect. In that moment, I knew. Whatever Peter's decision, our life as we knew it was over. It was time for me to reclaim my identity, to create a secure future for Jack and myself, with or without Peter. As the first light of dawn crept through the curtains, I made my own choice. It was time to start over. The business card felt heavy in my hand as I dialed the number. Hawkins Investigations, a gruff voice answered. Hello, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. I need your help. An hour later, I sat across from Mike Hawkins in a nondescript coffee shop far from our neighborhood. His weathered face remained impassive as I poured out my story. So, Mrs. Thompson, you want evidence of your husband's affair? He asked, scribbling in a small notebook. I nodded, swallowing hard. I need to know the truth, for myself and for my son. Mike leaned back, studying me. It won't be pretty, you know. Are you sure you're ready for what we might find? Was I ready? No, but I had to do this. I'm sure, I said firmly. Over the next week, I lived a double life. To Peter and Jack, I was the same old Lily, making breakfasts, helping with homework, smiling through dinner conversations that now felt like charades. But inside, I was a coiled spring, waiting for Mike's updates. The first photos arrived on a Tuesday. Peter and Gina, leaving a restaurant together, his hand on the small of her back. I stared at the images until they blurred, my tears falling onto the glossy paper. More evidence trickled in, text messages, credit card receipts for hotel rooms, a video of them kissing in a park. Each new piece of information was a dagger to my heart, but it also steeled my resolve. Then came the bombshell. Mike's voice was grim over the phone. Mrs. Thompson, I think you should come to my office. There's something you need to see in person. My hands shook as I drove across town, my mind racing with possibilities. What could be worse than what I'd already seen? Mike's office was cluttered but cozy. He gestured for me to sit, then slid a manila folder across the desk. I'm sorry, he said softly. With trembling fingers, I opened the folder. Inside was a sonogram image. My breath caught in my throat as I read the name at the top, Gina Carlson. She's pregnant? I whispered, the words tasting like ash in my mouth. Mike nodded solemnly. About 10 weeks, according to the date on the image. The room spun around me. Peter wasn't just having an affair, he was starting a whole new family. Our life together, our dreams, our plans for the future. They all crumbled to dust in that moment. Mrs. Thompson, Lily, Mike's voice cut through my spiraling thoughts. I know this is a lot to process, but you need to think about your next steps. Legally? Financially? I nodded numbly, my mind already racing ahead. I couldn't stay in that house, pretending everything was fine. I couldn't let Jack grow up in a home built on lies. I need to leave, I said, surprising myself with the strength in my voice. I need to take Jack and start over. Mike nodded approvingly. That's a brave decision. I can recommend a good divorce attorney if you need one. As I drove home, my resolve hardened with each passing mile. The Lily who had given up her career to support Peter's, who had turned a blind eye to his late nights and suspicious texts, that Lily was gone. In her place was a woman ready to fight for herself and her son, a woman who deserved honesty, respect, and love. I pulled into our driveway, staring at the house that no longer felt like home. My hand reached for my phone, fingers hovering over my sister Sarah's number. She had always been my rock, my confidant. If anyone could help me through this, it was her. Taking a deep breath, I pressed call. As the phone rang, I steeled myself for the conversation ahead. It was time to set my plan in motion. Time to reclaim my life and secure a future for Jack. A future free from Peter's betrayal and lies. The moment Sarah's voice came through the line, I felt a surge of strength. Sarah, I said, my voice steady and determined, I need your help. It's time for me to leave Peter. The suitcases stood like sentinels by the door, packed with the remnants of my shattered life. Peter's business trip couldn't have come at a better time. 3 days to pack up our lives, to disappear before he could sweet-talk me into staying. Mom, why can't I tell Dad where we're going? Jack asked, his young face creased with worry. I knelt beside him. my heart breaking. Sweetie, remember what we talked about? Sometimes grown-ups need time apart to figure things out. We're going on a little adventure, just you and me. Jack nodded, but I could see the confusion in his eyes. I hated lying to him, but how could I explain that his father had betrayed us both? As I zipped up the last bag, my phone buzzed. Sarah's text read, "Everything's ready at my place. You sure about this?" I typed back a quick yes before turning to Jack. "Ready for our adventure, buddy?" We loaded the car in silence, each piece of luggage feeling heavier than the last. As I locked the front door, memories flooded through me. First date kisses on the porch, bringing Jack home from the hospital, countless family dinners and movie nights. How had it all gone so wrong? Back inside, I placed the letter I'd written to Peter on the kitchen counter. My hands shook as I read it one last time. "Peter, by the time you read this, Jack and I will be gone. I know about Gina. I know about the baby. I can't live with your lies anymore. I've initiated divorce proceedings. My lawyer will be in touch. Goodbye, Lily." Short, simple, devastating, just like our marriage had become. As I turned to leave, a framed photo on the mantel caught my eye, our wedding day. We looked so young, so in love, so full of hope for the future. Impulsively, I grabbed it, shoving it into my purse, a reminder of what we'd lost, or perhaps of the strength I'd need to find again. The drive to Sarah's was tense, Jack unusually quiet in the back seat. I kept glancing in the rearview mirror, half expecting to see Peter's car racing after us, but the roads remained clear, our escape undetected. Sarah was waiting on her porch as we pulled up, her face a mix of concern and determination. She hugged me fiercely as soon as I stepped out of the car. "You're doing the right thing, Lil," she whispered. "I'm so proud of you." As we unloaded the car, my phone rang. Peter's name flashed on the screen. I stared at it, my heart pounding. This was it, the moment of truth. "You should answer it," Sarah said gently. "Get it over with." Taking a deep breath, I swiped to accept the call. "Hello? Lily? Where are you?" Peter's voice was frantic. "I came home early to surprise you, but the house is empty. What's going on?" I closed my eyes, steeling myself. "I left, Peter. I know everything, about Gina, about the baby. It's over." "What? Lily? No, please, let me explain." "There's nothing to explain," I cut him off, surprising myself with the steel in my voice. "I won't be your second choice anymore. I deserve better than that, and so does Jack." "Jack, where is he? Let me talk to him." Peter's voice rose, panic setting in. "No," I said firmly. "He's safe with me. My lawyer will be in touch about custody arrangements." "Lawyer? Lily, wait." I ended the call, my whole body shaking. Sarah wrapped an arm around me, leading me inside. Jack looked up from where he was arranging his toys in the guest room, his eyes wide with questions I wasn't ready to answer. As I sank onto the couch, the reality of what I'd done hit me like a tidal wave. I'd left my husband, I'd uprooted my son, I'd thrown our entire lives into chaos. But beneath the fear and uncertainty, a small spark of hope flickered to life. For the first time in years, I felt like I was taking control of my destiny. No more lies, no more pretending. This was my new dawn, and despite the pain, I was ready to embrace it. Sarah pressed a mug of tea into my hands. "What now?" she asked softly. I took a sip, letting the warmth spread through me. "Now," I said, my voice growing stronger, "we fight. For Jack, for our future, for the life we deserve." As the sun set on my old life, I felt a fierce determination rising within me. The road ahead would be hard, but I was ready to face it head on. This was just the beginning of my story of resilience, of rediscovery, of reclaiming the woman I used to be and becoming someone even stronger. The incessant buzzing of my phone jolted me awake. Squinting at the screen, I saw 15 missed calls from Peter. My heart raced as I realized he must have returned home to find us gone. "Lily?" Sarah's concerned voice came from the doorway. "He's been calling nonstop. Maybe you should." The phone erupted again, Peter's name flashing on the screen. With a deep breath, I answered. "Where the hell are you?" Peter's voice was a mixture of anger and panic. "And where's Jack?" "We're safe," I replied, trying to keep my voice steady. "That's all you need to know right now." "Safe? What are you talking about? I come home to an empty house and a goddamn letter? You can't just take my son and disappear." His words ignited a fury within me. "Your son? The one you were ready to replace with Gina's baby?" Silence fell on the other end. When Peter spoke again, his voice was low, dangerous. "You don't know what you're talking about, Lily. Come home now and we can sort this out." "There's nothing to sort out," I said, my resolve strengthening. "I know everything, Peter. The affair, the pregnancy, all of it. It's over." "Over?" He laughed bitterly. You think you can just walk away? I'll fight you on this, Lily. I'll take you to court. You'll what? I interrupted, my voice rising. Tell them how you betrayed your family, how you lied and cheated. Go ahead, Peter. I have all the evidence I need. Another pause. When he spoke again, his tone had changed. Evidence? What are you talking about? I felt a grim satisfaction. Oh, I've been busy while you were playing house with Gina. Every hotel receipt, every text message, every photo. I have it all, so think carefully about your next move. You're bluffing, Peter said, but I could hear the uncertainty in his voice. Am I? Want to risk it? I challenged. I'm done being your doormat, Peter. I'm done pretending everything's fine while you destroy our family. It's time you face the consequences of your actions. Consequences? Peter's voice turned cold. You want to talk about consequences? Fine, I'll see you in court, Lily. And when I'm done, you'll have nothing. No house, no money, and sure as hell no Jack. The threat sent a chill down my spine, but I refused to let him hear my fear. Bring it on, Peter. I'm not afraid of you anymore. I ended the call, my hands shaking. Sarah rushed to my side, wrapping me in a hug. You did great, Lil. Don't let him intimidate you. But as the adrenaline faded, doubt crept in. Could Peter really take Jack away from me? The thought was unbearable. As if summoned by my fears, Jack appeared in the doorway, his eyes wide with worry. Mom, is everything okay? I heard yelling. I forced a smile, patting the bed beside me. As he curled up next to me, I stroked his hair, trying to find the right words. Jack, honey, there's something we need to talk about. Your dad and we're going through some grown-up problems right now. Are you getting divorced? He asked, his voice small. The question hit me like a punch to the gut. Yes, sweetheart. I'm so sorry, but yes, we are. Jack's face crumpled and he buried his head in my shoulder. As I held him, my own tears falling, I realized the true weight of what lay ahead. This wasn't just about me and Peter anymore. It was about Jack and the life he deserved. In that moment, I made a silent vow. No matter what Peter threw at me, no matter how ugly things got, I would fight. For Jack, for our future, for the chance to rebuild our lives free from lies and betrayal. As the sun rose on a new day, I felt a strange mix of fear and determination. The battle ahead would be brutal, but I was ready. Peter had underestimated me for the last time. Now he would learn just how far a mother would go to protect her child and reclaim her dignity. The war had begun, and I intended to win. My heart pounded as I stepped into the elevator of Peter's office building. The manila folder in my hands felt like it weighed a ton, filled with the evidence that would change everything. Sarah's words echoed in my mind. Are you sure about this, Lily? There's no going back. I was sure. It was time to unveil the truth. The conference room fell silent as I walked in, all eyes turning to me. Peter's face drained of color, his mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. Lily, what are you doing here? He stammered. I ignored him, addressing the room at large. I apologize for the interruption, but there's something you all need to know. Peter's boss, Mr. Jameson, frowned. Mrs. Thompson, we're in the middle of a very important meeting. I'm aware, I cut in, my voice steadier than I felt, but I promise, this is relevant to your company's future. I opened the folder, spreading out photos, receipts, and printed text messages across the conference table. Your star employee, my husband Peter Thompson, has been having an affair with his colleague, Gina Carlson. Gasps filled the room. Peter leapt to his feet. Lily, stop this right now. But I was unstoppable. Not only that, but he's been using company resources to fund their rendezvous, hotel rooms, expensive dinners, all on the company dime. Mr. Jameson's face turned thunderous. Is this true, Thompson? Peter's eyes darted around the room, panic setting in. It's not. I can explain. Just then the door burst open. Gina stood there, her face pale, one hand resting on her slightly swollen belly. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, she sobbed. I can't do this anymore. The room erupted into chaos. Peter lunged towards Gina, his face contorted with rage. You promised you wouldn't say anything. I stepped between them, my voice ringing out. That's enough, Peter. It's over. All of it. Mr. Jameson's voice cut through the din. Everyone out, except you, Thompson, and you, Mrs. Thompson. We need to talk. As the room cleared, leaving just the three of us, I felt a strange calm settle over me. This was it, the moment of truth. Mr. Jameson's eyes were cold as he addressed Peter. I've known you for years, Thompson. I trusted you, and this is how you repay that trust? Peter's shoulders slumped. Sir, I can explain. Save it, Mr. Jameson snapped. You're fired. Clear out your desk by the end of the day. As Peter stumbled out of the room, Mr. Jameson turned to me. Mrs. Thompson, I'm deeply sorry for what you've been through. Is there anything we can do to help? I took a deep breath. Actually, yes. I used to manage a restaurant before I gave it up to support Peter's career. I'd like to get back into the workforce, but I'll need references. Mr. Jameson nodded, a hint of admiration in his eyes. Consider it done. And Mrs. Thompson, you're a formidable woman. Your husband was a fool to underestimate you. As I left the building, my phone buzzed with a text from Peter. You've ruined everything. I hope you're happy. For a moment, doubt crept in. Had I gone too far? But then I remembered Jack's tearful face, the years of lies and betrayal, and my resolve hardened. I typed back, This isn't about happiness, Peter. It's about justice. For me, for Jack, and for the life you threw away. As I drove to pick up Jack from school, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. The road ahead would be tough, but for the first time in years, I felt truly free. The war wasn't over. I knew Peter wouldn't go down without a fight. But I had found my strength, my voice, and I was ready for whatever came next. As I pulled up to the school, I saw Jack's face light up when he spotted me. In that moment, I knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, we would face them together. The future was uncertain, but it was ours to shape. The battle was won, but the journey was just beginning. The courtroom fell silent as the judge cleared his throat. My hands trembled in my lap, and I could feel Peter's icy glare from across the aisle. This was it. The moment that would define our futures. In the matter of Thompson versus Thompson, the judge began, I've reviewed all evidence and testimonies presented. This court finds in favor of Lily Thompson. A collective gasp rippled through the room. I sat, stunned, as the judge continued. Mrs. Thompson is granted primary custody of Jack Thompson, with Mr. Thompson allowed supervised visitation. Furthermore, given the evidence of Mr. Thompson's infidelity and misuse of company funds, Mrs. Thompson is entitled to a substantial portion of their shared assets. Relief washed over me like a tidal wave. We'd done it. Jack was safe, and we had a future. As we left the courthouse, Peter caught up to us, his face a mask of fury and defeat. This isn't over, Lily. You've ruined my life, and I'll make you pay. I stood tall, meeting his gaze. No, Peter, you ruined your own life. I'm just picking up the pieces for Jack and me. With that, I turned away, Jack's hand firmly in mine. As we walked towards our new life, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. Months passed, and slowly we found our rhythm. I threw myself back into restaurant management, rediscovering the passion I'd set aside for Peter's career. Jack thrived in his new school, making friends and excelling in his studies. One evening, as we sat on our small apartment's balcony, Jack looked up at me. Mom, are you happy now? The question caught me off guard. I thought about the struggles we'd faced, the tears we'd shed, but also the strength we'd found. You know what, sweetie? I am. Are you? He nodded, a small smile playing on his lips. Yeah, I miss Dad sometimes, but I like seeing you smile again. Tears pricked my eyes as I pulled him close. We'd been through hell, but we'd come out stronger. A week later, I received a call from Gina. My heart raced as I answered, unsure what to expect. Lily, her voice was soft, hesitant. I wanted to thank you. Thank me? I echoed, confused. For being strong enough to do what I couldn't, she explained. Peter, he's not the man either of us thought he was. I left him, the baby and I were starting over. As I hung up, I felt a final piece of the puzzle fall into place. Peter's web of lies had unraveled completely, leaving him alone with the consequences of his actions. That night, as I tucked Jack into bed, I caught sight of our reflection in the mirror. Gone was the broken, betrayed woman I'd been. In her place stood a survivor, a fighter, a mother who'd moved mountains for her child. Mom? Jack's sleepy voice pulled me from my thoughts. Tell me a story. I smiled, settling beside him. Once upon a time, there was a woman who thought her life was perfect. But then she discovered that sometimes things fall apart, so better things can fall together. As I recounted our journey, weaving it into a tale of triumph over adversity, I realized that this wasn't just Jack's bedtime story. It was our story, a testament to resilience, to the power of love, and to the strength we find when pushed to our limits. The road hadn't been easy, and I knew there would be more challenges ahead. Peter's bitterness, the whispers of gossip, the struggle of single parenthood, they were all part of our new reality. But as I kissed Jack goodnight and stepped out into the quiet of our new home, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. We'd weathered the storm and come out stronger on the other side. This wasn't the happily ever after I'd once dreamed of. It was something better, a hard-won victory, a life rebuilt on my own terms. As I gazed out at the city lights, I smiled. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in years, I was excited to face it. Because now, I knew the truth. I was stronger than any challenge life could throw my way. And that knowledge, that was worth everything we'd been through.